Hi, everybody. My name is Darcy Broadmerkle, and I am the Director of Student Engagement here at Misericordia. And tonight is the second night of our panel discussion, and it's always one that is can be lots of fun because our students always like to be able to talk to parents, but also just know that they're going to be absolutely honest with you. So I would say to you, feel free to ask them anything that you would like. So at this particular time, I am going to have them introduce themselves to you, and just know that we might be having one or two jumping on in just a minute. So let's start up here with Adam. Adam, say hello.
Howdy, folks. My name's Adam. I'm a senior mass communication major here. I wear a lot of hats, including this one. But I do a lot on campus, so feel free to ask any questions.
Tor?
Hi, I'm Tori. I am a senior psychology major here at Ms. I am one of the coordinators, not yours because it's the parents, but yeah, really excited to be able to answer any questions that y'all might have.
Thanks. Walker?
Hi, my name is Walker. I'm a senior government law national security major at Misericordia. I'm heavily involved with campus ministry. I help lead retreats. I'm now the student leader of campus ministry, and I take students to help volunteer at the local Habitat for Humanity.
Thanks. And our Maggie.
Hi guys, I'm Maggie. I'm a junior early childhood and special ed major. I'm on the women's lacrosse team and also a member of the education club and Where's the Fun? So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask.
Okay. All right, great. So folks, those of you that are out there and that have joined us, if you have any questions at all, feel free to type them into the Q&A, into the chat box, and I will see them pop up, and we'll be able to help you understand what goes on here at Misericordia. So I could sit here and wait for someone to actually type one in, but they're not jumping on it right now. So I'm going to throw out the first question. All right. So the first question is, why did each of you decide to come to school here?
I chose to come to school here from for lacrosse, and I met, sorry, I can't see. Where did it go?
You're all right.
Oh, I can't see the screen right now, but also talk. I came to school to play lacrosse. I fell in love with the team when I came on multiple tours. I did an overnight and just fell in love with the girls and the atmosphere. And I also when I came to school, I was in the PT program. I have since went a different path, and just the school, from being accredited, was just, it ticked all the boxes, and I really just, it was a perfect mesh, and I couldn't be happier anywhere else.
Thanks. Who else wants to answer that question?
I'll answer it.
Go ahead, Adam.
So although I wasn't an athlete, I do know because I was in the area, so close proximity for one. Two, I really like the small classes. We're a very tight-knit community. I think we only have around 2,000 students on campus, or just 2,000 students. My highest class was like 30 people, and it was a core class. Everyone has to take those. And my lowest class I had was, I believe, 6. So you really get a lot of personal connections with your professor. They kind of know you, your strengths, your weaknesses, and they want to help you succeed. You're not just a number. So.
Thanks, Adam. Who else? Go ahead, you guys. I'll let you all answer that question, and then we'll move on to some of the questions that are coming up here.
I can answer it. I also came to Ms. for both the education program and for lacrosse, but I also came from a small high school, and with Ms. being such a small school and a close community, I felt like my transition was a lot easier, and I just was attracted to how everyone really knew each other and you always saw a familiar face on campus literally wherever you go.
Okay, great. All right, Walker?
Yeah, so for me, I wasn't too sure what I wanted in college experience. And my aunt, she actually worked at Misericordia, and she helped like guide me through like the qualification process. And she just told me all the things about Misericordia, like the small class sizes, the great faculty, the gorgeous campus, and it all just sounded really good. So that's what made me choose Misericordia.
Thanks. All right, and now joining us, we have another orientation coordinator, Caitlin Coyle. So Caitlin, the question was, why is it that you decided to come to Misericordia?
I decided to come to Misericordia because of the small campus feel and community. I came from a pretty small high school, so I think that sense of community and that sense of inclusion and like being wanted in a community was really important to me when I was choosing a college. I also came here for the PT program because they do have amazing health science programs, so that's part of the reason why I came originally, but what made me stay was the amazing community and family that Misericordia has.
Thank you. Thank you all. All right, so we have some questions coming in here. So let's start with the first one. What it's like to be a student athlete. So we have a couple of athletes on the panel. Ladies.
We're both actually on the lacrosse team here, and we're both goalies. So Maggie and I are definitely very close. To be a student athlete, it like I feel like a lot of people put so much pressure on it, but as long as you are able to figure out a good like sports class balance, like I feel like it's not any harder than it was in high school. I mean, you definitely have to make sure that you're getting all your work done, and there is a time commitment that comes along with being a student athlete, but the friends and love family that you make from being on the team makes everything so worth it.
Yeah, and being on a team, you really like have to figure out your time management, but also what's like really great about Ms. and their athletics department is that all of the coaches are really focused on each of their players' education. They always want to know like how you're doing and make sure that your grades are up to the team standards, and they want to know during like for your schedules if there's any conflicts or if you're struggling in any classes, and they encourage you to like get a tutor or any other outlet in order to succeed both on the field and in the classroom.
Great.
To go with that too, our coaches definitely, well, our teams at our school are among the highest ranked academically, just to say that. So like our coaches definitely give us very many opportunities. Like when I was a freshman, my grades weren't as good as they should have been because I was like struggling with a concussion or whatever. And so we had study halls to be able to like go in and be able to sit down with the team and make sure that you're getting all your work done. The tutoring is amazing here. All the help that you can get. Also with scheduling, we have priority scheduling as a student athlete so that you can make sure that your classes are scheduled around practices so that there's no conflicts. It's not like you're going to be missing either one or the other because you have the opportunity to work around and be able to really get your schedule where it should be to succeed.
And that's only when you are in
season.
your actual season.
Yes.
It doesn't go all year long for athletes. It's just when you're actually scheduled to be in season. Okay, great, thanks. Okay, next question. So the question is, what is the most important things that the students need to bring when they move in, and what really is not necessary?
Okie dokie. So I think one of the biggest things that was a helper for me as far as the transition from high school to college is bring some type of planner, whether it's a small compact thing that's like a weekly planner, monthly planner, or if you have a wall calendar that you can put the dates in with marker, permanent marker. Definitely bring any kind of school supplies you need, notebooks, pencils, extra pencils. I usually like bringing staplers. I have a whole bunch of stuff, Post-it notes. Maybe some things that aren't entirely necessary. I know as first years, you don't really have your own kitchen, so you don't need to bring a lot of pots, a lot of pans. Those are actually provided for you. I know in McHale and alumni, we have community kitchens in the student lounge. So if you want to bring like cups or maybe like if you want to make a lot of drinks, definitely bring like a pitcher or something like that. But you don't need to have like a very expensive cooking set or anything like that. But time management is very important. So anything that you need to plan or anything that you can write stuff down in for reminders and such.
Thanks, Adam. Anybody else on that one?
I would say even like packing wise for this year, I would say is like a special exception because we're going straight through. I would really try and plan out what sort of clothes you'd want to bring because it will be hot when they come, but it'll get cold fast, and it does get cold fast around here. But to also like keep in mind you don't have the same amount of space as you would at home. Like they definitely have a good amount of space in the dorms, but I know coming in, I brought a lot more stuff than I had room for. So it was definitely had to work with it, but it's definitely something that I would keep in mind, knowing that we're going straight through and there's not going to be very many opportunities to go home and like get things. So
And that's a real good point, Tori, because we always tell incoming students to don't bring their whole wardrobe when they first get here because of the space. But considering we won't have a fall break this year, you know, you have to be prepared. And some of those clothes that, you know, it's like going on vacation. You know, you overpack. I don't know about you, but I'm an overpacker. And then I look at the clothes and I think, do I really need this? Yeah, I just might, only to find out, you know, there's 3 outfits that I never wore once, you know, so only bring those. And the other things that students always like to mention, I hope I'm not jumping in on anybody, is rain boots and umbrellas and some sort of raincoat or something, because, you know, we do have different types of weather here. Anything else important that anybody can think of before we move on?
I would maybe say like a fan or something, because the dorms, even when it does get cold, the heat cranks in the dorms and it will get hot. So like I know a lot of kids open their windows, which really isn't very sustainable, but to like keep it cool because there is control with the thermostats, but like not much because it's like all the same thing, but maybe like a fan, something like that.
Okay. Anything else?
Trying to think
My
about it.
biggest thing that's important to bring is a Brita. It's really nice not having to walk down the hallway and fill up a water bottle with like the water fountains that are around, especially with everything that's going on right now. I highly recommend bringing a Brita pitcher because you could just keep it and store it in your refrigerator.
Okay.
Especially since the sinks are right in your room, you can
Yeah.
just fill it up whenever you want. You don't even have to go to like the bathroom or anything to fill it up. You just fill it up right in your room.
And a lot of the fountains around campus have the filter systems right on it so that you can fill up your water bottles or Brita whenever you're outside of your room as well. Okay. All right, so let's move along here. If you're having questions or problems with your schedule, who is it that you need to contact?
You can either contact one of your advisors, so you can find those on your schedule or on any of your other academic materials, but also you can find the registrar is very helpful in that. His name is Joe Reddington, and he can help you with any ad drop or questions about your schedules. I normally first talk to my advisors and see what they say, and then I will defer to his opinion.
Okay. All right, now I just want to back up a little bit because there is a mother on here that said she thought that with everything going on, they had to bring their own pots and pans. And I can't necessarily answer that. I haven't heard that. Did you hear that, Caitlin? I see you jumped in on that one to answer it.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Adam.
I know that that's what they usually do. As far as changes, they might not now, of course, with everything going on, but I know that's what usually happens.
Right.
So.
Right, and so honestly, that would be a question for the Director of Residence Life, AJ Noodle. You can probably check with him to see if it is absolutely necessary for, to bring your own pots and pans. But then again, you know, I mean, you can wash them. It's not like it has to be separate. So, you know, I'd probably go along with what Adam is saying. All right, next question. Do you have a mentorship program for first-year students?
We don't really have I wouldn't say it's a mentorship program, but we have FYE, which is your first experience class. All first-year students must complete an FYE class. It's built into their schedule first semester, and it's really helpful. It teaches you all of the amazing resources we have on campus and definitely gets you acclimated here well and definitely sets you up for success. I would say that's something that really allowed me to learn all about campus and like all the allies that we have and everyone who's on your side and how helpful the resource that we have are and how to take advantage of those.
And I do know that we also have the peer advocates, and they are also very helpful with all that. But there are certain majors that do assign an upper class student to the younger students that will help them through, but not all majors do that. So it just depends. Okay. I know that Joanne, you wanted to know, what does it mean going straight through? Tori, you wanted to answer that one.
When I said that they were going straight through, so like normally when we come in, we have like Labor Day, we go home for Labor Day, we have fall break, which is like a 4-day weekend that they go home for. We have Thanksgiving break. So with the restrictions, we're keeping the semester at, like, we're trying to get it done as fast as we can. So like people aren't going home, coming back, like bringing back and forth, whatever it is. So also with the intention of like trying to finish it before possibly another outbreak may come. So we're not having Labor Day weekend. We're just we're going through Labor Day weekend. We won't be having a fall break. We'll just be going through fall break and Thanksgiving. I think we'll be done by Thanksgiving. That's what it was.
You have your Thanksgiving, which will be your break. And then all students will not be coming back until the start of the spring semester. And at that time, once they are home, they could be having their finals. If they are having finals or any other assignments, they'll be done remotely. So that, like Tori was saying, if there's any sort of precautions, we're just trying to take as many precautions as possible to keep everyone safe for as long as we can. So, Chris, I think he's asking this on both platforms. So wants to know, when doing the early drop-off option, can his parents help him move in? Know that that's on the 17th. It is a literal drop-off, and then they have to leave. Go ahead, Caitlin. I see you looking. Do you know?
I actually do not know the answer to that. I'm sorry.
All right. I do. The deal is, if you do the early drop off, there's going to be a window of time that you will have to move in. What they're going to do, similar to what we did with the upper class students that were already here when we moved them out. It's all going to be done online. I know that there were some delays and we were supposed to be starting it sooner than we were, but then there were some issues that came up with the governor and everything else. So, you know, all of this planning and is all for the reassurance that we are keeping everyone safe. So what we are doing is there will be a window, a block window of time that the students will come to drop things off. And during that time is when you can set up your room. Now, it's not going to be like you drop off and you're here for 5-6 hours. It'll only be a couple hours, but it'll at least give you a head start for when you do come in on that actual day on the 17th. So it won't be, if it's just like it was before, and I believe it's going to be the student and one other person to be in the building at a time. Okay, so Chris, I hope that answers your question. And then Brooke is also asking, when will the dates be out there for when the drop-offs are?
So we all received an email through our Ms. emails on Friday from the Res Life saying which buildings had the certain drop-offs. So they both include McHale and alum. So if you want to write this down, if anyone's ready. For alum, it's August 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And then for McHale, it's 11th and 12th. And then your child's gonna receive an email through their Ms. email to sign up for a certain day and a certain time. They want to drop off their stuff before they move in a week and a half or 2 weeks later.
Thanks, Maggie. And this is probably a good time to remind all new students that you really need to be checking your MU emails. And if you have not registered your devices, and I mean anything that you are bringing to campus, your phone, your laptop, your iPads, whatever, even your gaming devices, all of that has to be registered. And if you have your emails going to your phone, it's going to make it a heck of a lot easier for you to know what's going on, because this is why a lot of students, you know, we know that you're not in the habit yet of checking those emails, but you really need to, because those emails about move-in all did go out on Friday. So it's there, it's in your inbox. You just have to check it. Okay. So the early drop off, yes, one student, one parent, and that is going to be the same for the 17th as well. Okay. All right, let's see what we have on this side.
We also got an answer for the kitchen supplies.
Oh.
That they will need to bring their own kitchen supplies.
They do bring.
There will be no community supplies.
Okay, there you go. That answers that. Adam, you and I were wrong today.
Sorry about that, folks. But there is a community kitchen in everyone, so
Yeah.
at least I'm right there.
First time that we've ever been wrong, right, Adam?
Oh, 100%. I mean, come on.
Okay. All right. So let's see. One of the questions, how safe would the students be if there is an out-of-state student coming from a high-risk COVID state? Okay. So that answer might be best served. I don't want to, you know, go into all the different things regarding COVID right now, but we are going to be having another panel discussion with the Vice President of Student Life and all the other directors of the Student Life Division. I mean, please know that the university is doing everything possible to make sure that the students are kept safe. And if by chance they are coming from one of the high-risk states, then I would say to you now that make sure that you self-quarantine for 14 days prior to coming to campus. And that is for the safety of all of our students and the employees that are here. So, but we do have different places set up that will be used if anyone has any symptoms, that they will be isolated or quarantined for a period of time. And they, as far as the Director of Health Services will obviously be very closely involved, and she will be, you know, doing what she needs to do to make sure that your son or daughter is being taken care of and what the next step would be for them. Okay. But like I said, make sure that you keep watching these informational panels when they come up, because the next one is going to be having to do with, you know, being able to talk to a lot of the directors of student life. Okay, now we have another question here from Brooke. What days will McGowan Hall drop-offs? And what if I have not gotten the email about the drop-off dates? Well, that's interesting. I will ask, but I believe AJ was on there and I know that they were all sent, but Maggie, can you maybe tell us what the drop-off dates for McGowan will be?
Yeah. The McGowan dates is just like alum, so it's August 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Okay. Hopefully AJ will jump back in there and let me know if there is a reason why some students maybe didn't get that email yet, but I know that they did get that. Send it out rather. All right, now here's a question. Maggie says she'd like to answer. Understand that there is no unlimited meal plan this semester. Is that correct?
That is correct. And it was in the same email as it was for the drop off. So there's so much information in that one email. So it's really important that everyone checks their email. It's going to put that in there again. So the unlimited meal plan is suspended for the semester, but it's replaced with a 265 meal plan. And then for this meal plan, if you need to add more meals, it's in blocks of 10. So, but I mean, in my opinion, I don't go to the CAF over 265 times. I mean, I had the 190 meal plan this past year and I still had plenty of swipes left.
Even
So
swiping friends in, because we would go after practice and everything, and I'm like, Maggie, can I come to dinner? Yeah. So I remember having the 190 as a freshman, and that was more than enough too. So.
Yeah. So I think everyone will be completely fine with the 265.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to get Walker in here because he is a commuter, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And, you know, maybe you can just say a little bit about what you do as far as meals here, or are there plans for students that are commuters?
So there is a plan for commuters, for like a meal plan specifically designed for commuters. I don't know too much on it. I never got it. But what I would do is I either go get food at Chick-fil-A or the chopping block, or my friends with the swipes and meal plans, they would always invite me to go eat in the CAF too. So I would go and eat with them.
Maggie will always be happy to swipe you in.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
There you
I
go.
always have enough swipes.
Yeah. All right. And just as a reminder for the parents, you do not get the emails regarding all this information. This email is going to the student's email address, not the parents, their Misericordia email address. So please keep that in mind. Let me see if I think we got them all on there. I know that is there any help for move-in day? Oh boy. Well, what usually happens on move-in day will not be happening this year on move-in day. Caitlin, you want to take that?
Yeah, so there are carts. I think there's 3 available per building, but I know even for the move out, we all were able to have the option of having carts. I'm just someone who likes to do everything, like kind of just carry in boxes. That was a big thing I would say that helped me during move out, was having like boxes rather than bags, because if you have loose items, it's going to take you so long to bring everything in. I really do recommend, with this new system that we have to do this year, is bringing boxes and having everything condensed and label everything. Like when I tell you it's so important to label everything, definitely do that. But there are carts if you want that option.
Yeah, and we do have them, and I usually get some extras, but like Caitlin was saying, the way that we are doing it, I doubt that there's going to be anybody, you know, struggling to find a cart at that time, because it is on different hours, you know, and most people have heard about our move-in system. And I will say that I am proud that, you know, the orientation leaders always do such a great job with moving parents in with the students' things. And we get it all done in under 4 hours with hundreds and hundreds of students. And, you know, we apologize that we're not able to do that this year. But again, it all comes down to the safety precautions that we need to take. You don't want us handling all of your items, and we don't want, you know, to be touching any of theirs as well. So, you know, we apologize for that, but we'll be okay. What else? What other questions do you parents have out there? Okay, Walk, this is yours. Go
Yeah.
for it.
So for me, I've never really had a problem parking on campus, except for like when construction was going on. There is still some construction going on, but like I said, I've never had problems finding parking. Sometimes you do have to walk a little further than other days, but depending on what time your class is, if it's an earlier class and you're driving there, you're gonna get the closest spot you can get. And then even later in the day, if you have like a 3:30 p.m. class, usually students are leaving, and then you can get a parking spot where they were.
Okay, thanks. Caitlin, next question. You want to tell us what it is? And
Do I get the Brita filter that attaches to the faucet, or get the Brita pitcher with the filter of the pitcher? Does that even fit in the fridge? It 100% will fit in your fridge. My roommate and I had a ton of food in our fridge, and it fit perfectly. And also, I think you can get the one that attaches to the faucet, but I would be careful just with sizing, because my mom wanted me to get the faucet one, but I wasn't sure what size and if it would fit. But you can, I guess, get that, but take the risk. I recommend getting the pitcher just because it will be colder, and it does fit in the fridge. The fridges actually do have a lot of space, so I definitely would recommend getting a pitcher itself.
yeah, and if you do decide to get the one with the faucet, just save the receipt. You know, and you can always take it back to Walmart or something, because the next question that came up here is, will there be a shuttle to the mall and other stores?
There, the student activities shuttle that runs different days of the week for students and all weekend. So it takes you to Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, other locations. So you can go the Wyoming Valley Mall with the shuttle. You can go to Target, Walmart, a ton of places in Wilkes-Barre. My roommates and I, none of us had, well, not my roommates last year, but all my friends didn't have cars their freshman year. And every weekend we would go out to like a fancy dinner on the weekend. So that was like one thing that like we kind of made a tradition. And another thing we did a lot on the shuttle was we went to the movies, because it's $5 movies on Tuesday nights, which is really nice. But there are shuttles that are available. And if you are a health science major, so especially OTs and SLPs their freshman year, there's a shuttle that's right on campus. It runs Monday through Friday, and it goes to Passon Hall, which is a off-campus location, well, down-campus location that has the health science building. So there are shuttles for student engagement, and there are also shuttles that'll take you to Passon Hall.
Okay, thanks. And we will do the necessary precautions when taking the students down with the shuttle. You know, once again, everyone will be wearing masks all the time, and, you know, but we will be offering the shuttle again. Going back just to AJ has piped in there. He's the director of Residence Life, and he said that you can have 2 helpers to drop off on moving day. So that's a bonus from what it was for students moving out. But knowing that for the first year students, you'll get to have 2 people there to help you do that as well. So thank you for that. All right, Tori, what's this next question?
The question was, is there room for much extra storage items in the rooms? I lived in a LUM my freshman year and McGowan my sophomore year. So I guess I can speak to McHale because I know what the dorms looked like, but I know in Alum, the rooms and McGowan, the rooms are smaller, but there definitely still was space to have. I had like shoe shelves and a separate like drawer set that I was able to fit into my room, and my roommate had extra things too. And in McHale, they have like a lot of space up above the closets that you could probably bring different storage things to put in. You can also loft the beds up higher than they are when you come in to be able to fit stuff underneath them if you want extra storage that way. There's definitely multiple ways that you can get crafty with different storage.
I'll
Adam,
chime in.
I'm gonna ask Adam to pipe in on that one.
Yes, I was a former RA. I was an assistant. And one of the things that I like to say about him is everything that's there is meant for lofting. So one of the things that is not allowed in the dorms are bed raisers. So, because everything again is meant for lofting. So don't get anything like that. You could rearrange anything. You can loft the beds, you can flip the closets, anything like that. Any way you like. What I usually do is I can actually flip the bed frame because the top is a little bit higher than the bottom. So I'll flip it and I can fit a full foot locker underneath for under the bed storage. But I would definitely check. There are some restrictions when it comes to bringing stuff in. I'm sure AJ will send something out, or maybe not. But yeah, there are certain restrictions, but there's tons of things you can do to get more storage.
Living in McHale my freshman year, I think the biggest thing was under my bed, I had they're kind of like Ziploc, kind of large Ziploc bags. And I put all extra toiletries, cleaning supplies, just because my mom packed me with a lot of stuff. So I figured better than having it out cluttering my room to have it under my bed. And even though the McHale beds can't really like be lofted like we were talking about in Alum, there is still storage room. I would just get kind of the sliding things. There's also the plastic ones with the lids, but I would say there's a ton of extra storage items. And a big one that people use is right above the microwaves. There's like a little tiny like hutch up above it. Some people get like shoe racks or some kind of other storage way to keep all of their food in one place and like not sliding backwards. So I think that's another big thing that people bring to store items.
Another thing with storage, something that I would do and still do, even I live in a house now off campus and I still do it because like I live here, so I have all my clothes, is I use like the Space Saver bags. Like Caitlin reminded me of it with the Ziploc bags, especially since your kids are probably going to want to bring most or all of their clothes for this semester. I would highly recommend that because then they can pack like all their warm clothes in the Space Saver bags and then bring them out when the time comes, and you can pack away the clothes that you're not wearing anymore, and then those can easily store underneath your bed too.
I also recommend bringing or using the space bags when you move in and out because it takes a lot less space in your car when you are dropping off your stuff. I know I did that for both moving in and moving out, and it saved so much space. So I feel like that's beneficial for both having during the semester and both moving in and out.
Definitely.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, next question. This is for Walker. Where can a commuter take their online class if they are on campus?
So there's like computer labs all over campus. There's a computer lab in Mercy, one in Insulaco, Walsh Hall. The one in Walsh and Mercy, there may be classes in those rooms, but you can always go to like the computers in the Henry Student Lounge or inside Insulaco, where they don't have classes in those rooms, but there are computers and they can take online classes in there.
And if they have their own laptop?
And if they have their own laptop, they could take the online class anywhere. The Wi-Fi reaches everywhere on campus.
So like just go into the library,
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere that they can. Yeah, because I know that came up last week. People wondering if for the commuters, if they had back-to-back classes. One was here in person and then one was online, they wouldn't have enough time to get back home. What should they do? So, you know, there's ample space for them to get their classwork in. Okay, thank you. All right, Maggie, you want this next one? You want to tell us what it is?
Yeah, so the question is there a full-length mirror in alumni hall rooms? I lived in alumni freshman year, and there is not a full-length mirror. There's a mirror above the sink, but I also brought my full-length mirror when I moved in, and I use that all the time. So there's not one already in alum, but I feel like it's beneficial to bring one.
Mhm.
I would highly recommend it. I still use my mirror from
Yeah.
it's still sitting right there. They're cheap
So-
too if you can get them from
Yeah.
like Bed Bath and Beyond. I want to say, especially when they go on sale when back to school comes, like they do some really good coupons and stuff. I want to say I got that for like $10.
Yeah. I
It's
know
cheap.
like a lot of people hang it behind their doors.
Mhm.
I did it for mine both my first year and second year. I just put it against the wall and use it whenever I passed by or like whenever I needed it. So it's you can use it in multiple spaces. There's not just like one way to use it as well.
Yeah, mine was I would hang it on the door in the dorm rooms, but now I just have it just
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's see what else we have. Oh, Blake is giving us that it's currently $8 at Walmart. So everybody run on
Ooh.
down.
Hey, look
Beat
at
that
that.
deal.
Walmart has a bunch of different colors too, so
Yeah.
I'm sure you can get them with whatever aesthetic you're going for in the dorm room.
One of the questions was, is the furniture being removed now that they put so?
Is attempting to reach you on your
Hold on a
cellular
minute,
device.
please. Haley, I'm doing a panel.
Oh no. One of our leaders.
Okay. Okay, hold on. We'll get back to you in a couple minutes. Bye. So today they had shifted all the emails, and so she's supposed to be on the panel, and we had this problem with our other panelist today, and she can't get on because they changed the emails. So we'll take care of that in a minute. I apologize for that. But knowing my niece, she would continue to call until I picked it up. So the question is about whether or not the furniture is being removed from the doubles now that they're going to be singles. And from what I'm told, it is not going to be removed. So, you know, obviously, now that doesn't mean that you should bring that many more clothes or items, you know,
You
because
can use that for
what
most of
you have to bring it all back home again, you know, at the end of the year. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's see what
Darcy,
else.
she's calling me now.
What's that?
She's calling me now.
Oh, okay, Caitlin, what would you like to say?
What?
Did you say
Haley's
call
calling
on
her
you?
now.
Oh, she's saying Haley's calling her.
Oh, she's calling you?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Okay, we'll get to Haley in a minute. All right, let's see. Can you move the desk and closets in McHale?
You cannot move the desks and closets in McHale. You can kind of move the beds if you want to bunk them. If you don't want to bunk them, then that's about the only furniture you can move. The sinks are in place, or the sink is in place. The drawers with your mirror, like the little vanities, in place. The closets are huge. I'm pretty sure they're anchored to the walls, and the desks are huge and anchored to the walls. But I lived in McHale, and that was something I was nervous about. Is like I like having my stuff a particular way, and I was so nervous about not being able to move my furniture based on like how I wanted it. But I like the setup of McHale a lot. I loved living there.
I will say, although you can't do it in McHale, you can do it in alumni. While McHale is more lengthwise, kind of like a hotel style, alumni is more width, kind of like a block, a square. And there's nothing attached except the sink. So yeah, you can move the closet in alumni, but McHale, you can't.
There's definitely a lot of ways to get crafty with everything in alumni and McGowan. I know me and my roommate would move our room around any chance that we could get. And we did all the setups. I think it's fun though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of happy that I lived in a love and
Make
not.
your own, right?
So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna piggyback off that one because there's a question saying, can you bunk the beds? And if so, how? And I know Tori and I are pros at this because
I
we did
had
the
bunk
past
beds.
couple of years. So for me, I bunked my bed in McGowan, but you can also do this in Alum. I bunked it using my dresser and one like shelf riser thing, and then my desk and the other shelf riser thing. And then I bunked my bed on top. So it was high, like completely high up. But
So,
that,
yeah, keep going.
you go.
So yeah, so Maggie lofted her bed. Like we call that lofting it. But if you want to like actually have bunk beds, like the beds on top of each other, me and my roommate did that our sophomore year because the McGowan room is a lot smaller than the alumni room was because it's the same space but with a bathroom in it. So like a chunk of the room is taken out. But so what Adam was saying before, when you flip over the bed to have more space underneath, if you have both tops to each other and like have the mattress, I guess like on the bottom, on the top, if that makes any sense how I'm saying it, then there's a lot more room than you would think in the bunk beds. And you can do that in McHale too. I definitely saw kids that would do that in McHale. And then also with what Adam said, everything is able to be bunked. You can put your dresser on top of your desk. You can put the dresser on top of your roommate's dresser. I did that with my roommate because we literally lived on top of each other, but it worked out because she's 6 feet tall, so she could still see inside her top drawer. But you really can get very crafty with.
And I also know that you can loft your bed lower, as in just putting your like one riser and a dresser on like one on each side, and then put your bed on top. So you don't need a ladder. You can just hop on your bed, and you can have like some room underneath to put like extra drawers or any of your extra like supplies or anything you have. But that's just for McGowan and Alum, not for McHale.
You are provided with a ladder though. If you do
Yeah.
decide to bunk, you do provide with a ladder. If you don't have one in your dorm, just contact one of the RAs. We also help you with moving in and everything, or at least getting yourself acclimated. If you don't have a ladder, you can just ask one of them and they'll give it to you.
There's also the option, which we took full advantage of, is on the beds, they have like bolts that you can put on like I don't know what you would call it, like a barrier thing.
Yeah, like a barrier. So like I did that for
So you
both.
don't fall out of your bed.
Yeah.
But
Like you're safe. You're completely
Yes.
safe while you're doing it. So you're not risking anything if you're bunking on the top bunk.
yes.
All right, now everybody knows about bunking beds here.
All right, hey, there we go. Woo.
All right, we're
think that's
running
the
out of
best part.
time, so we need to get to a couple more of these questions. Is it beneficial to have your own printer? Caitlin, you said you wanted to handle that one.
I had a printer my freshman year and I absolutely despised having it because once one person on your floor figures out you have it, they're always in there using it. They use up your ink and your personal paper, and it's so expensive. Like I found myself spending so much money. And each student gets 300 free prints per semester. Each additional print is 25 cents. I print full PowerPoints and I've never exceeded that. I think it's a complete waste of space and money to have a printer in your room.
Any others on that one?
I completely agree.
I agree.
Like
Okay.
I would say that the prints are like meal swipes. You're not gonna run through them.
Okay.
And there's
You can try, but
yeah. And then there's printers in multiple buildings, like the library in Sulaco, but those two buildings close at a certain time. But if you go to the Henry Student Lounge, that's open all the time. So you can always grab a computer and print whatever you need at any waking moment early in the morning.
I know there's also probably a concern of like having to go to one of the school printers to print from there to the printer, but there is a website called pcounter.misericordia.edu that you can print your anything from your computer, and you can like change which printer you want it to be printed to, but it there's like a time limit. Like you can't send it to the printer and expect to pick it up at the end of the day. Like I want to say there's like maybe like an hour time window to go pick it up from the printer, but it works the exact same way as printing it from one of the school's computers, and I would definitely recommend not
All right.
bringing your own printer.
Well, we're going to move along with a couple extra things here because we are running out of time and we have another panel scheduled. But one of the questions is that the daughter is a commuter and wants to know how to get their permit.
You have to go down to campus safety and purchase a parking permit. I think it's $30
No, I think it went up.
that you went up. I have honestly, I completely
I
forgot
think
the price, but you have to go down to campus safety, which is the basement of Mercy Hall, and purchase a parking pass.
I think it's $50 now. Also, if you go to campus safety on MyMU, you can fill out all the information they need and then submit it, and you can pay with your card on that. And then when you go down to campus safety, they'll have your pass ready for you.
Okay, good, thanks. We only have a couple of minutes. Is the drop off just to leave stuff in the room? I'll answer that going back to it. No, you'll have that window of time. And during that time, you can get set up whatever you wanted to set up. But after that time, you know, the buzzer rings, then you're out and you set the rest of it up at a later time. All right, I think we covered just about all of our questions. Let me just ask, is there anything that the wonderful panel wants to say to the class of 24 parents of, you know, just anything that's important for them to know?
Go.
I feel like during this time of uncertainty, I know there is a lot of concerns, but I want to let you know that your children are going to be in great hands, both in administration, faculty, and staff, and the students on campus. We're all in the same boat here. I know that this is their first year, but this is the first year of restrictions and different normal. So if they have any questions, don't hesitate to ask anyone on campus, like where their classes are, or if they have any general questions, because we will all be welcome to answer them no matter where and when.
Thanks, Meg. Anyone else?
I think just know your students really are in the best hands here. There's such a built-in support system with this university between faculty, staff, other students, and just the community as a whole. So I think just knowing that everyone wants your kid to succeed, everyone has your kids back, and just know that they will feel at home here and that it really is a great place that you're leaving them.
Definitely are all looking forward to meeting them. We can't wait to have them all back on campus.
Yeah, and we are looking forward to it. Yes, it's going to be very different for all of us. You know, and we have to remember that we are not alone in this, that, you know, we are not the only institution that is going through this, but together, that's one thing about Misericordia that I've always been just so grateful for, is how much care and compassion there is together as a whole between the students and the employees. And, you know, we want to make this the best year possible. Even though there are going to be some restrictions, we'll deal with it. We'll get through it. And we'll have the best time that we possibly can, you know, going through all of this. So I would just like to say thank you for those of you that did attend. And also, if you have any other questions, make sure you look for that email that came out from Res Life. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact us at the orientation office, which is through student engagement. You can call us at 570-674-6407 or email us at orientation@misericordia.edu, and we will answer any additional questions that you may have. So at this particular time, I say thank you to my wonderful panel. It's great seeing you all, particularly the ones that I don't. Tori and Caitlin, I see all the time, but the others, it's great seeing you guys. I do see Adam a little bit giving tours here, so, but we look forward to seeing everyone when you get here in August. So take care, folks. Thanks. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
All right.
Cougar
thank you.
strong. Hey.
Yes.
That's right. MU Cougar strong. That's it. All right. Have a good night, folks.